Hey everybody, I think I'm live already. So I think I'll start with my cup of tea just because I don't know if you're here yet. I'm going to wait until I see that y'all get here. Remember that it's a 20-second delay, so I start off talking to myself, never sure anybody's going to be here. So let me sip my tea and I'll keep an eye over here and see if it pops up live. Okay, we are live. I see it now. So welcome everybody. Hey everybody, I think I'm live already. Oh dear me, I think I'll start with my cup of tea. Turn my volume down. Hey Chow. Hey Tammy. Hey you guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Hey, I think you're really gonna like today's project. I was pretty excited about it. Somebody showed me a picture of the one that I used for my inspiration on the Christmas part, but the other part I made myself. But hey Deanna, let's just relax here for a minute and let me make sure I'm all organized. And why don't y'all tell me where you're from and maybe if you're working on something today. And we'll wait for a few more people to join us. Make sure I have all my pieces that I need and I'm ready to roll. I hope y'all have something to drink. Okay, I see we've already got some people joining us, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to have you come down here. Oh, what, Tammy? So sorry, Tammy. Sorry, Tammy. I don't know. Deanna's saying sorry, Tammy, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, what I'm going to have you do now first is look down here, and you'll see what I'm going to show you how to make, and then we'll get started. So this is what we're going to make right here, what I'm going to make. Actually, I've already made this side. So what I'm going to show you how to do is do the reverse side. This obviously is the side that's for Christmas because it says all hearts come home for Christmas. And I thought after I went ahead and did this side and I have this chunk of wood, why not make something on the other side so that I can just reverse it. Well, actually I would use the Thanksgiving side first and then just reverse it when it gets close to Christmas. So here we go. So I'm going to take these off of here for right now. They're just laying here. Of course, I would actually pin these onto the jute that I have here, but I'm just going to move them off of here for now. And actually, I do not even have my jute attached yet. Okay, so let me move this as well. And the first thing that I did when I got my hunk of wood, well, the first thing I did actually was I measured it to see how big it is and if it was going to work for my project. I had one that was wider than this and it didn't work for my project because no matter how hard I tried to make the letters larger, it would make everything out of proportion and it wouldn't look good. So the first thing that I did then was I went over here, just got a ruler, and I measured and I saw my wood was about 18.5 inches wide. I call that wide. Other people might call it long. By 9.25. So I just said 9.5. So what was it again? 18.5 by 9.5. So then the next thing that I did was I just came up here into silhouette. And let me move this piece of wood for a sec. Hang on. Okay. So I can use my mouse. So the first thing that I did then is I came over here and I made a square that measured the exact dimensions that I needed. So this was 18.5 and I made it 9.5. So then I knew how big of a piece of wood I had to work with. And I think I'll make it a little bit nicer color, wood color. There we go. A little dark. Okay, there we go. So that's my chunk of wood that I have to work with, and obviously it's not going to fit on my mat unless I had a big mat, which I do not. So the first thing that I did for the All Hearts Come Home for Christmas is I started putting the text on here. Let's see. I've got to ungroup this so I can move All Hearts down here, and I group those. Let me ungroup that. And I'll tell you about the fonts that I used in a minute. So All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. This is actually the one I ended up with. I tried so many different fonts and I made this thing so many different times actually. that it was crazy. I wish I had saved the pictures, but I think I forgot to do that. But I can show you something that I did do. Let's see. If you look down here at my desk again, you can see what this was one of the ones that I made, and this was actually vinyl because I thought I had it right on and was really going to be perfect, but it didn't work out right. The home was good, but the lettering off to the side was bad. This was a font I thought I might like at first. All Hearts Come, and I thought this would be nice. Home for Christmas. And I printed this out and laid it out on my board. And the more I looked at it, the more I thought, you know, this font is just really too big. And I could actually show you on this side that I've not done yet. I just don't think it looks nice. So it was like this. All Hearts Come Home. And then for Christmas would go here. And I just thought that was a little bit too bold for what I liked. And that might be something that you like. And then I even printed the little holly leaves out to see what I thought. And actually, here's the one I printed out on cardstock to try it out. So I always do this first. And I actually thought I had a winner, and I put it all on my board on the other side, and I absolutely hated it because the font was so thin, it just did not look good at all. So this is what I ended up with over here, and I'm really liking this a lot. So the font, in case you're wondering what fonts I ended up using, let's look back up here at Studio. I used for the word home one that's called Welcome. And let me see if I can find it for you. I'll type in again the word home. Type it on top of here. There it is as it comes in. Then I would just double click on it to highlight it. Come over here to the text style panel and go ahead, and I believe it was the font called Welcome. So I'm going to go all the way down there and see. It comes in really tiny, but when I stretch it out, yep, that's not the one I used. That's the one I was going to use. Look at that. That's not the one I ended up with. I bet you guys know which one I ended up with. It's a favorite of everybody. I've forgotten. I changed it. So what I ended up with was, let's do home again. Type it in again. And this is what I do. I played with this thing for 2 days. If you could see all of the stuff that I've tried, and that's how I finally got one that I liked. I thought I was going to like October Twilight, but I didn't because I thought that was a little bit too thick and not all that pretty for this. So I went back to everybody's favorite, which is Magnolia Sky, and that's the one I ended up using. And I didn't notice before I made it that the O and the M weren't attached here, so I'd probably make them attached, but it worked out okay anyway. So that's what I used for home. For All Hearts Come Home for Christmas, the font that I used for that, let's see, I'll just type in All Hearts. Okay, there's All Hearts. The font I used for this originally that I really thought I was going to like was one I like to use a lot, and it's Caviar Dreams. I thought I would like that. Even if I made it bold, I thought I would like it. See how bold it looks? But I really didn't. It was kind of plain compared to the one I ended up with. So the one that I actually ended up with that I really, really like is one that's probably on your machine if you have a Windows machine. I believe it comes standardized. It's called Georgia. And for the last couple of days now, I've been really liking the font Georgia. It just has a nice little bit of a prettiness to it that's not too much. You see, I just think that's a pretty font. So that's what I use for All Hearts Come and for Christmas. Of course, I spaced it down. And, you know, maybe I separated the letters a little bit if I felt it was necessary. And to separate the letters a little bit, the letter spacing, you just come over here to the text style panel and click on character spacing. Sorry, see how it's moving them apart? Okay. So that's what I did for this one, and it was really easy, and I'm going to show you now on the second one. I'm going to make this one for you. So let's get rid of this stuff. Well, not rid of it, let's just group it all together and move it over to the side. So the thing I was trying to think about was, what could I put on the other side that I could use for Thanksgiving? And I didn't come up with a very good slogan. So I just thought, you know, this is always good here, the joyful, thankful, and blessed. And then of course I would have the clothespins and the space for the pictures. So in addition to first measuring my board, I also realized that most of my pictures will be 4 by 6 inches. And I figured 3 of them would fit across. Now, depending on the size of your board, you might need to crop your images a little bit. So I'm going to ungroup this. These boxes here represent my pictures, and I was checking to see, do 3 of them really fit across the size of the board I have? I didn't buy this board anywhere. I just found it over in the basement. I'm always scouring around looking for stuff. As I said, the first piece I found over there that I thought would be terrific was way too wide. It was like 15 inches wide, and it just really didn't look good at all. So I went back over there. I feel like a picker, if anybody ever watches the Pickers. Picking my own basement. All right, there we go. So those were my photos, and I see they're 4 by 6 inches. What I did was I made a square, and notice it's 4 inches by 6 inches. And then I just duplicated it 2 more times, and one I changed a different color just for the heck of it. The other thing that I did was I'm using clothespins, as you saw. So what I kind of did was, this might have been a little bit of overkill, but I went to my clothespin here and put it on top of a picture. Then I wanted to get an idea of, well, how high above that picture does the clothespin go? And on this one, if I have it down that low, it goes about 2 inches above the picture. So, but some of them were 3 inches, I think. Let's see, no, 2. Okay, well, 2 inches worked pretty good then. So, let's see, did I make this 2? I made this top of this clothespin 2.5. So I actually could have made it 2 inches. Whoops, you need to come back up here to work. But I'll leave it at 2.5 right now, and I actually measured the width of it so that I could put this down here just so I can get an idea before I even cut anything. Is stuff going to fit or not? So I just brought these 3 clothespin fake down here, and then I was like, okay, is this going to fit? Let me ungroup it. And well, actually how I did this was I just came over here to the text tool and typed in joyful, and I put about 5 spaces in between, maybe 6. I'll do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I did thankful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I did blessed. Okay, notice blessed is going on the next line, which we don't really want. So I would just stretch this over like this so they're all in the same line. Perfect, just like that. But obviously I can make them a lot bigger, and I don't want to have them be this font. So what I did was I just double clicked till I could get them, and see, get them, highlighted them, and then I came over to the textile panel and I just started trying stuff. Now some of you might like Magnolia Sky. I don't like it for this. I think it's way too jazzy, and I didn't like that at all. But maybe you like that. That could be your favorite font, so you could use that. The one that I found, and I don't, let's see, let me get rid of that. Highlight these again. I think, let's come over to the font style or the textile panel again. See if it's in my recently used. No, it's not still there. So I'm going to have to come down here and try to remember what one did I use, and I think, oh my, oh, I think what I used was one called Rebetha. Now, if you've been following me for a long, long time, one time we had where we purchased the Rebetha font. It was really, really cheap, and it came with all kind of different stuff, and I think that's what I used. So let me click on Rabitha Script and see. Yeah, that was the one I used, yay. Okay, but you can find any font, obviously, that you like, that you have on your computer, or that you want to get from dafont.com, or I have a link below to several places where there are good fonts. So that's what I have right here, and I'm going to check it. I'm just restretching it to make it fit. So let's grab, I'm clicking on one of the, what's supposed to be a photograph, holding down my shift key, clicking on the next one and the next one. Then I'm also still holding down my shift key, and I'm going to grab the 3 clothespins. Then I'm just going to hit Control G on my keyboard, which groups all of that together. And the reason why I did that was because I don't want to move that stuff individually. So I'm just going to move it down here like this. And again, this square, the brown square, represents my piece of wood that I have. So now I'm going to see if these are going to fit on here well. And they fit pretty good, but you know what? I bet I could make them even bigger so it fills up more of the space. So let's see what happens if I drag it out a little bit more. All right, that's borderline too big. So I could make it a little bit smaller again. Liking that like that. And then I was trying to figure out what to put in between these. Stars or hearts or just circles or turkeys, or what could I put? I wonder, even, it'd be cute if there's a silhouette of like praying hands and you could tell they were praying hands. That would probably be really cute in there. I didn't think of that till just now. So what I used was just the hearts. So obviously, to get the heart to fill in there, all you have to do is come over here to where all these shapes are that we have. Grab the heart. And I just made, hey Tina, hey Carmen. Every now and then I peek over here and see what's happening. He loves the pickers, Tammy, yeah. Okay, there we go. So I'm just making a heart shape. And let me come over here and see if that looks like a pretty good size. Looks pretty good, maybe just a tiny bit too big, but this is all a matter of your own preference. Okay, there it is. So then all I need to do is click on the heart to select it. And I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my keyboard and just drag another one over here between. Okay. So that's pretty much all that I did. Let's see. These guys are all grouped together. Wait. Pardon me. All right. These guys are all grouped together. So I'm going to right click and ungroup. Wait a minute. I just want the text to be ungrouped. Right click and ungroup the text. Now I'm going to group these individual words back together. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I just want to make sure that they're aligned properly with each other. So there we go, group. Now, I'm going to click on joyful, hold down my shift key, get thankful, keep holding down my shift key, and get blessed. Then I'm going to come over here. I can come over here to the transform panel on the right hand side, and I could make them aligned to the bottom like this. Or another place I could go if I don't want to come over here is I could come up here to this thing that looks like the transform panel and also align them to the bottom. Okay, that's not going to work that great. Do you know why? Because these letters have a lower letter that pops down below. So I don't even think aligning to the top will work perfectly because it looks like the J goes up higher. But let me try that for a minute. I'm going to come back up here to the transform panel and say align to the top. And let's see, does that look better? Well, that looks kind of kooky too. So now I'm going to try one more thing and see how this will work. Click on joyful, shift, thankful, still holding down the shift, blessed. I'm wondering what's going to happen if I try to align it to the center. Okay, that worked the best. You see that? I aligned everything to the middle, so the middle of these words is aligned. And then I would probably click on the heart, hold down my shift key, get the second heart, and this time I can do a line, a center or whatever I would like, center like that. All right, so now I would probably just grab all this stuff again and group it. So this is ready to be sent to my machine to be cut. Now, we don't need these things. All we need is this actually for this side of our board. So if I was getting ready to do this for Cricut Design Space, the next thing that I would do is I would highlight all this and come up here to Object, Make Compound Path. And I shouldn't have done that yet. Well, I think what I need to do is I need to Object and Weld, and then Object. Okay, so what I needed to do first was to weld those things together. So before you do a compound path with text, you should weld the text together and then make a compound path, because I'll show you what happens if you don't, because this may happen to you and you're wondering what in the world happened there. Let's see if I can go back. Okay, are these welded? Hang on just a sec. All right, these should not be welded. Let me check. Okay, these are not welded together, and you can tell that because look at this line right here between the A and the N. That's a cut line. There's going to be a cut there. There's going to be a cut here between the H and the A. So let me scroll back out. I want to show you what might happen if you forget to weld before you make a compound path to send to Cricut. So if I just click on all of this and say Object, Make a Compound Path, you see all those extra little holes that are cut in there? See that? Obviously that is not what we want at all. So if you ever see this happen when you're making something for your Cricut machine and you're using Silhouette, let's go back. The first thing you want to do with all text is to weld it. And we kind of know that from Cricut Design Space that welding is important. So I can right click and weld. And then after I've welded it, I can grab everything now and go Object, Make a Compound Path, and we don't have any of those goofy looking little things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll back out, and I know a lot of you have Cricut machines, so I'm going to show you how this is going to work over there. We'll just get rid of some of this junk. I hope I don't really need it for anything. Let's make sure everything's gone, because all we're going to worry about is these words right here to make sure that they're going to come in properly in Cricut Design Space. But you know what? There is one slight issue. We can fix that over easily in Cricut Design Space. And that is, what I could have done was I could have welded just these two together, or this part, and then this part separately. Now I'm wondering if do you know why I might have done that? If I had done that, we would have been able to have it easily on the 12 by 12 mat. But we'll be able to fix that over there. And actually, I'll fix it for you right now. Here's what you could have done. I'm going to have to undo everything, I think. You know, it's that darn weld button if you don't do stuff right then and there. Okay, so I think this is all unwelded. I hope I'm not confusing you horribly. Nope, that's still welded. You see that? Whoops. Still welded together, so I need to undo some more. Think I've got it now. Let's check. Yes, you can see the line between the H and the A, perhaps, which means it's not welded. So really what I should have done, since this is such a large thing, is done this. Gone ahead and selected, let's see, ungroup. I should have gone ahead and selected just two of these things and right-clicked and weld. And then I could have made these two together a compound path by going to Object, Make Compound Path. And for those of you who are new, the reason why we make it a compound path is if I didn't, when we went over to Cricut Design Space, every one of these letters would be separate. Okay, but once you make it a compound path, that makes it into thinking it's one piece. So this second part right here, again, I would right click and weld. But that's not enough for us in Cricut Design Space. I would need to grab it all and come up here to Object, Make a Compound Path. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this junk we don't need. And now I'm going to send this to Cricut Design Space so you can see how easy it is to design things here and use them in Cricut Design Space. So much easier. All right, so to go to Cricut Design Space now, using the Business Edition, all I have to do is come up here to File and go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and I would save it, I'll just save it as, what's the text I have there? Joyful, Thankful. I'll just save it as Joyful, Thankful. Okay? And then I'm just going to go save it as an SVG. And that's what allows us to use it in our Cricut machine. So I saved it as Joyful, Thankful. Okay? And then I'm just going to go over to Cricut, upload an image, browse, and I'm going to browse for Joyful, Thankful. Should be the very last one down here, I'm hoping. Yep, there it is. Open. Oh, son of a gun. I have a bunch of junk on there still. Ugh. Let's cancel this for a second and go back to Silhouette. So I must have a bunch of stuff still here. Oh, there it is. Yep. I want to get rid of all this junk too. Get rid of it. And now I have just the text that I want. So just to refresh your memory, I'll go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and since I'm saving it for my Cricut machine, I'm going to save it as an SVG, and I was going to name it Joyful, Thankful, and it should tell me that I already have one. Do I want to overwrite it? So I'll say okay, and yep, I want to replace it. Yes. So now I'll open Cricut Design Space, go to Upload, Upload an Image, Browse, and I'm going to browse for Joyful, Thankful, and open. And there it is. Perfect. Save, and I'm going to show you how this should just come in as two separate files. So I'm going to click on it and say Insert Images, and look over here in the Layers panel. 1, 2 things, and that's exactly what we want. And we can make this any size that we want it to be, and it will be perfect, just like that. All right, so now I'm just going to have you come down and look at my desktop here, and I'm just going to put it together so that you can see the final part. So, let's see. Okay, so here's my final piece, and what I used for this was some of this folk art home decor chalk paint, and after I put the paint on it, then I just went back and buffed it a little bit with some sandpaper to make it look a little bit older. And then, let's see, what do we got? I used 3 different vinyls on my original side, the other side. I used this black that I really like. It's like a brushed, it's Cricut. Here's what it is. It's brushed vinyl. And I'm sure on your Cricut machine that there's a setting for it. Premium vinyl, true brushed. On my Silhouette machine, I used vinyl textured translucent, and then I put the numbers in here that I used for it. And I like to write it on these things and then stick them back in so that I don't have to look up every single time I'm going to use this product. What settings do I need, either for my Cricut Explorer Air 2 or for my Cameo? So I like using this. So I use that, and then I use these two, I don't know, 2 other Cricut ones, matte vinyl, premium vinyl. Yeah, that was on the opposite side. The other thing I'm going to use is this jute. I think I got this maybe from the Dollar Tree. I'm not positive, but I think so. And some clothespins. I actually just had some of these laying around the house, but I think you can get these at the Dollar Tree as well. Okay, So I've already cut out Joyful and Thankful, and I just did it out of black. I could have done it out of any color. I could have made the hearts a different color. I could embellish it any way I want, but just to start with, I did it just like this. I do have this piece that I need to weed. So this is Blessed. I'm looking to see where to weed it. And this stuff weeds really well, easily. There we go. And I always just stick this piece on the side of my table because I'm always afraid that maybe there was a little part in here that I need that I didn't notice. So I just stick it on the side of my table. I don't go ahead and ball it up into a heap. Then I get out my pin pen that I got from Troy. It's 651 vinyl. And I just use the pin pen and take out the inner parts. I know I don't need. I think there's one here in this B. Yep. And I really like the pin pen, and I know, Chow, you do because it really helps you with your mandalas. I gotta check and see if there's something in the S's, and I'm assuming there is. Let's see. Gotta get close. I don't know. Yeah, there is a little tiny bit. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Now, I do have to tell you something about this vinyl. You have to use the stuff that comes with it, the transfer tape. And I wonder if I left it on my other table. I think I did. I'll be right back. There's a special transfer tape that comes with this. I tried to just be frugal and just use my regular old transfer tape, but it didn't work very well. Because of the brushing on this, or the texture, you're wise to use what they tell you to use. So I'll be right there. Okay, and what they suggest that you use is the strong grip transfer tape, which is the same stuff that they always recommend for the glitter also. So I'm going to move this up. I hope this, I better not. I'm going to put it on my keyboard. It's probably not good. Yeah, let's see. All right, so I'll do Joyful and Thankful first. So I just kind of roll some of this off of here and just kind of pop it down on there. And of course, I missed the L a little bit on the end. I wasn't being careful. Then I flip it upside down. Let me move this way back. See if you can see a little bit. I flip it upside down, and then I just use my squeegee the back side of it a little bit. Okay. And this should come right off because it sure did earlier. Right, so it's coming right off beautifully, just like that. Super. I said I got my L off a little bit. All right. So now I need to stand up and hopefully not bump a camera. All right. Move this back towards me a little bit. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, trying to make it straight. Here we go. And again, just use my squeegee. Okay, there we go. Joyful, Thankful, and Blessed. This last one here. What I think is cool is that you can just change out the pictures all the time too. See how nice that weeds, or not weeds, but it comes off on this transfer tape when you use the right one. All right, let's see. And I could, if I was smart, I would probably put some little lines here, but I'll just guess. Wish me luck. Great. Okay, that's it. I was thinking I needed my other transfer tape as well, but I don't. This is all I need for this one. So the next thing that I do, I don't know what happened. I can't see what's on anymore. Uh-oh. Can you see this? Yes. Okay, so keep watching. I think in about 10 seconds you'll have it back. Keep watching. Should be about 5 more seconds, maybe. I'm hoping. That's weird. Okay, so that's not... There we go. Oh, yay. Okay, you're back. Woo! All right, so here's this. Great. Yes, I see. Whoopee. All right, so here I put this all on here, and I thought I needed another piece of transfer tape, but I really don't. So all I need to do now is to go ahead and put my jute on here. So I wanted it to go around about 3 times. So I just cut a hunk off. Scissors. And not exact. I really hadn't planned this part really well. So all I'm going to do, I guess, is I'll just do this. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll start here where it will be underneath one of the paper clip or the clothespins, and I'm just going to start wrapping it around about 3 times. 1, 2, as many as you like. 3. Okay, there we go. And what I would do now is, let me do this. For starters, I'm just going to put a little piece of tape right here for a minute to hold this so I can go around the back and fix that piece. And you could be using your hot glue gun, which would be a perfect thing to use. Just putting that on there temporarily to hold that. Then I'm going to go around the back and do the same thing back here. And again, it's going to go right underneath one of my pictures. So that's perfect. Cut off that icky edge. Okay, so again, I would probably use my glue gun now to hold this in place well, but I didn't get that out for this. So now all you have to do, roll this down a little bit, and I'll go to this. Here's this side, which is done, which I could put the paper, the clothespins on, but I'm going to go ahead and do it on this side since it's a little bit livelier with the colors, jazzier. And then what you'll do is just take your pictures and you can just clothespin them on here onto a piece or another piece or whatever. Have it down low enough so that you can see your word. And I think it turns out really super cute. Maybe you want some of the jute to come up higher, and you could even put another layer on if you wanted to, so that some of it would show up here, because I think that's part of the coolness of it. And there you have it for the Christmas side, and I think it's super cute. And you know, if you hot glue the jute on, you don't need to hot glue these clothespins on at all. And then after this season, or whatever else you put on the back, you could just take the clothespins off and put them around the back. So I think it turned out really, so I could move this over just a tiny bit so it's not hiding the M for the home. I think it turned out really cute. And I love it. I'm so excited. And so as I said, then the other side, when this is over, you would just take it over, and you could leave them on here if you were just leaning it up against a wall or something. And then on this side, you could put the other thing for joyful, thankful, and blessed. And again, if you wanted to, you could put praying hands here, put some flowers on here, or some fall foliage, like some leaves and that kind of stuff from the Dollar Tree, to really just kind of jazz it up. But I think it turned out really super duper cute, and I'm pleased that I kept at it for these 2 days trying to figure out what fonts look good, because I love these. So again, this wasn't my design. I designed this part, but someone had shown me a piece, and they said, yo, use this as inspiration, please, and make me one of these. So here it is. I think it turned out really nice. And I do like the idea of using the other side. Heck, if you got the board and you're using it, why not do double duty with it? So I hope you all enjoyed this. I just think this is a piece of plywood or wood, just junk wood. Some of the wood that I have is better wood than others. I do have some oak over there that I'm going to be using for something. But for this, it really doesn't matter since you're going to cover it. And you know, this is the first time I've ever done the chalk paint. I've never done this before. So this is what I used. Hopefully you can see it. And I wasn't sure what to do, but because I also bought this wax, because I didn't know if you needed it or not. Clear wax. I didn't need it. All I needed was this. And the color that I got was sheep skin. So it's sort of an off-white looking thing. You can tell the difference. Here's white, and the off-white color that it is, if you can tell that a little bit better. See that. So I really like it. Oh, whoopsie. Nightbot just put a, that's not the wood that I used. That was the wood from yesterday, or the other day's project. I forgot to remove that link. And he's telling you that this is the wood that I used, but the wood that Nightbot just put up there, that was the wood that I used for the other project that I made 2 days ago. This one. If you haven't seen this one, this was another one where I went ahead and cut out the piece first so I knew it was going to fit. And this is the other one that I made there. But this is the wood that Nightbot was talking about. And this design is available on our website. And this one will be available, I'm pretty sure, later on today on the website as well. So, you're welcome, Chow. I'm so glad you come all the time. I appreciate seeing you. Hey, Barbara, I didn't say hi to you yet. Yes, I think so too. I really like it a lot. I think it's really sweet. So, okay, I guess that's it, unless you guys have any questions. Thanks again for joining me. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you would. And also, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the little bell so that you get notified, hopefully, when I go live or put new things up. Also, be sure to join us, our Facebook group. Here it is. One of them is Cricut Design Space with PattyAnne, right here. Because, as you know, even though I teach a lot about using the Silhouette software, most or a lot of you have, I too, have a Cricut machine, but I show you how to use it with your Cricut machine as well, because there's so much we can do with the Silhouette software for our machines. So. Hey, Stephanie. Thank you. Yeah, I was really excited with how cute it turned out. Thanks, Chow. Thanks, S. Russell. I just enjoy teaching, you know, and helping you guys. And when I see a project that I think is really super cute, I love doing it. Oh, there he goes again, talking about the wood. Huh. Again, as I said, that was the other wood that I used. Okay, let me look back, see if there are any questions. I don't think, whoa, my camera just fell over. Did you hear that? Yikes. I don't think that there are any. Let me double check. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. So thanks again for joining me. See you all again real soon. Bye-bye.